Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, and Dandavat Pranams to all the devotees. Welcoming you all for today's Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So today we have His Grace Vanamali Govind Prabhu, who's here with us. So Prabhuji, on behalf of all of us, welcoming you to this forum. Thank you so much. So I kindly request you to go ahead and then share the nectar with all of us too. Looking forward to it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanna Pranam, Prasanatma Balamji. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, now you are audible. We can see you and your video is also clear.
Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Prabhu, I said yes, we are able to
Are
hear
you
you.
able to hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear you. It looks like you are not able to hear me.
Okay. Yeah, now it is clear. I can hear you also.
Okay. So, Prabhu, over to you. Yeah, thank you so much.
So today we are discussing from the 5th canto, chapter number 13, shloka number 17. I'll just open the verse and share it with all of you. I'll share the screen. In case it is visible, please let me know.
Yes, Prabhu, now we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. So I am very fortunate to have this opportunity to share Srimad Bhagavatam with all of you. We have Dayamay Baldev Prabhu, Radharani Mataji, and Shweta Mataji, Swati Mataji already assembled. So we welcome them also. So we'll start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So further talks between Rahuguna and Jadbharata. So we'll just recite the shloka and word to word meaning and the translation and purport. Tairvanchitoham sakulam samavishan arochayan शीलमुपैति वानरान् तज्जातिरासेन सुनिर्वृतेन्द्रियः परस्परोद्विक्षणविस्मृतावधि. They, by them, the cheaters and the pretenders, the so-called yogis, swamis, incarnations and gurus, vanchitaha of great paramahamsas, or the devotees, samavishan, contacting, arochayan, not being satisfied with Sheelam, their behavior, Upaiti approaches, Vanaran, the monkeys, which are all debauchees with no good character, tat jati rasena, by sense gratification in the association of such debauchees, sunirvrita, indriyaha, being very satisfied with getting the opportunity of sense gratification, paraspara, of one another, udvikshana, by seeing the faces, vismrita, who has forgotten, avidhi, the end of life. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being cheated by them, the living entity in the forest of the material world tries to give up the association of these so-called yogis, swamis and incarnations and come to the association of real devotees. But due to misfortune, he cannot follow the instructions of the spiritual master or advanced devotees. Therefore, he gives up their company and a gation of monkeys who are simply interested in sense gratification, and he derives satisfaction by associating with sense gratifiers and enjoying sex and intoxication. In this way, he spoils his life simply by indulging in sex and intoxication into the faces of other sense gratifiers. He becomes forgetful and thus approaches death. Purport. Sometimes a foolish person becomes disgusted with bad association and comes to the association of devotees and brahmanas and takes initiation from a spiritual master. As advised by the spiritual master, he tries to follow the regulative principles, but due to misfortune, he cannot follow the instructions of the spiritual master. The very important line here. Due to misfortune, he cannot follow the instructions of the spiritual master. We'll try to analyze this in our discussion also. He therefore gives up the company of devotees and goes to associate with Simian people who are simply interested in sex and intoxication. Those who are so-called spiritualists are compared to monkeys. Outwardly, monkeys sometimes resemble sadhus because they live naked in the forest and pick fruits, but their only desire is to keep many female monkeys and enjoy sex life. Sometimes so-called spiritualists seeking a spiritual life come to associate with Krishna conscious devotees, but they cannot execute the regulative principles or follow the path of spiritual life. Consequently, they leave the association of devotees and go to compared to monkeys. Again, they revive their sex and intoxication and looking at one another's faces, they are satisfied. In this way, they pass their lives up to the point of death. So, I was just going through the previous verses which might have been discussed in this series of Nityam Bhagavata, and it is basically a description of the forest of material enjoyment by Jadbharata to Rahuguna, wherein he tells that how a living entity is trying to enjoy in the material world, especially association of opposite sex, and there is comparison given between the creepers wanting to be in the shed of creepers, in the bed of creepers, and as the arms of the wife wanting to embrace, and also when he is getting old, he is fearful of death, and then he takes shelter of some bogus swamis and yogis which may do some magic to save him from the death, but being cheated and thoroughly bewildered by them, finally he may come to the association of devotees, but so unfortunate that even he leaves the association of the devotees, not able to follow the regulative principles or the instructions of the spiritual master. So I was just thinking how we can make the discussion relevant to practicing devotees who are in the association of devotees. However, they are well aware of the association of the bhakti path, the Krishna consciousness, and what steps we can consider and discuss so that we can go on in our spiritual life very strong and not only survive in 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles, but also contribute tangibly to Srila Prabhupada's mission as a token of our gratitude for what we have received, the immense and matchless gift of Krishna consciousness. So yes, as a sadhaka, we may also find some obstacles or such things which we may need to overcome. I hope I am audible, Prasannatma Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you. Just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, we can hear you. A little bit of a lead lag, I think, but otherwise it is okay. It's clear.
Okay. If it is a significant issue, just please may send a chat message. I'll change the network.
Your video is not continuous. I thought I'll just let you know.
Okay.
So maybe the
Otherwise,
network is
the sound is clear, good enough, clear enough.
sound is clear. I just put that message for the others also. So it looks like it is clear. Otherwise, they would have said no.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So yeah, uh, sound is more important, so that should be clear. So I was discussing that how it is very important that we as a practicing devotee can analyze some of the obstacles which we may face in our bhakti path and which may create some hindrances to progress further. So whatever I have heard from my spiritual masters and shiksha gurus and teachers, I will just try to repeat in parampara. All of you are also very exalted and very senior devotees, and no, you can feel free to give feedback and scope for improvement. I like to come and do this service so that I am little bit scanned myself that am I going in my right path or not. So I have given a topic to this discussion as how to ensure to endure in bhakti path. How to ensure to endure means to sustain very strongly and also contribute. So how to ensure to endure, and we will discuss this topic with a acronym which is called as hang on, HANGON, hang on, which kind of suits our discussion and the concept of to endure in bhakti path. So we'll elaborate. We'll start with the prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Vishwaram. Hare Krishna. So yeah, as we were discussing, here the translation Prabhupada tells that one who is very fortunate, yeah, uh, he comes in the association of the devotees. However, becomes if he becomes unfortunate, he leaves the association of the devotees after coming very with great difficulty, and then he takes back the association of so-called sense gratifiers, monkeys, who are only interested in having association of opposite sex. And Prabhupada was mentioning they look like naked sadhus, who are also sadhus, because they are naked like monkeys in the forest in the previous times. But their only aim is to associate with the opposite sex and sense gratification. So such sadhus are not worthy of being inspired from and appreciate. So yeah, devotee who is practicing Krishna consciousness may be having an external garb of dhoti kurta tilak and kanthi mala or sari, and they may be having an external appearance of a devotee, shikha, but the function will not be there. The form of devotee may be there, but what is more important, the function or the form? Can anybody send the chat message? In bhakti, what is more important? The function of a devotee or the form of a devotee? Or you can unmute also and share.
Hare Krishna, both are important, Prabhu.
Okay, Balaji Govinda tells both are important. Okay.
Functions, Prabhu.
Saraswati Mata is telling function. Yeah, Radharani Mataji is telling function. Yeah, function is more important because form is important, but only to the extent to inspire others who are seeing the surroundings. Yes, to the degree we also get internalized. Like if we wear dhoti kurta, tilak, it makes us more inspired to behave like a devotee, and we will not misbehave anywhere we are, and it helps to remain conscious. But if we see for a long term perspective, more important than the form is the function. As we see that many times we may misjudge a devotee who may not be having an external form, like the Avadut Brahmana who was met by Prahlad Maharaj, and he was very nicely nourished. If you see his consciousness, it was very nice internally. Similarly, there was one personality, I forget his name, whom Gadadhar Pandit misunderstood. Anybody remembers? His name starts from P. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, I think. Not Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Yeah, I think Pundarik Vidyanidhi. That he was eating pan and he was wearing a very lavish dress of a very rich person. But Pundarik Vidyanidhi was thinking that how can this be a great devotee? But later he understood when his consciousness was revealed that he is a great devotee. So form is not so important, although it is important, but not so important as it is the function of a devotee. A devotee should be functioning like our Vairagya Murti, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, had a simple dress and sometimes chanting in lavatories, but his consciousness was nobody should disturb me. Such a high level consciousness. So one may not be recognized by the external form, although I am not saying it is not important, it is important, but more important is the function of a devotee, as what is his consciousness, what is his activities, what is his thought process. So that will decide, because in bhakti, more important than the activity and externals are the internals and the intention. That makes bhakti a little difficult. Chanting anybody can do. Wearing dhoti kurta tilak, many can do. Chanting Hare Krishna anybody can do, but what is the mood while chanting? Is the service attitude there? Or just mechanical murmuring of the mantra is happening? So that is very difficult. So let us discuss some aspects which can be helpful for us to not leave the association of devotees, continue the path of Krishna consciousness, and to contribute positively, making a tangible contribution as per one's own abilities. Not only just remaining as a non-performing devotees, or limiting our Krishna consciousness to 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles without developing higher taste. Yes, somebody may ask, Prabhuji, Prabhupada told just chant 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles and I will catch my dhoti. I will take you from the back door. So is it not enough? Yeah, it may not be enough because that is only the initiation. And what is the meaning of catching the dhoti? That means following instructions of Srila Prabhupada, who time and again tells in his books that within one lifetime you should finish the business of going back to Godhead and winding up our material life here. So it may appear little difficult. Prabhu, I may take more lifetimes. I am not that high devotee, pure devotee. No, but then why will Prabhupada tell? We have to do Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. That is our Acharyas, our founder Acharya's mood, to complete it in this one lifetime and not to keep it pending. Otherwise, he's not a first class devotee, is what Srila Prabhupada tells. So all of us want to be first class devotees, is it not? Then we have to follow. Yes, at least we have to give a try. We may not ensure that we will go back or not, but we have to give a try, a genuine try according to the instructions. So based on this, we will discuss an acronym on hang on. Okay, so hang on. Yeah, the meaning is not only to hang on, but to go on and contribute also. But just for the sake of remembrance, easy remembrance, I gave this acronym. H for higher taste, A for association of exalted devotees and pure devotees, N for navigating one's own spiritual life, G for gratitude, O for looking for opportunities, O for opportunities, and N for never give up attitude. I'll just repeat once again and I will discuss one each in detail. H for higher taste, A for association of pure devotees, exalted devotees, senior devotees, N for navigating one's own spiritual life. How we have to take responsibility of one's own spiritual life. G for attitude of gratitude. This is also very important to go on. And O for opportunities. And last N is for never give up attitude. Okay, so we'll discuss one by one. H for higher taste. So what is this higher taste indicating? We know the verse from Bhagavad Gita, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinam raso varjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So the senses are very strong and they can bewilder us, and they can only be controlled nicely provided we develop higher taste. Yeah. So I had read one book by His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj on the topic Bhakti Bhava, wherein he tells very precisely that why many devotees come to Krishna consciousness, stay on for 5, 10, 15 years and then leave. The fact that they come is because they get some relief from the outside material sufferings. Wow, outside material world is horrible. People are very cheating type of people. Here devotees are very nice. Prasadam is very good. The dealings are very nice. And the temple is very good. I feel this is a good community to stay on. They may get initiated. But afterwards, they don't put any efforts to go on and develop a higher taste, and which is very important to sustain in bhakti. That's what the verse also tells in Bhagavad Gita. If we don't develop that higher taste, the modes will pull us back again, because they are always acting till we go back home, back to Godhead. Even in the higher stages of devotion, the modes are always pulling back, like the gravity always pull us down till we cross the threshold, uh, 11.8 millimeters meters per second speed. We need to cross the gravitational pull, and then we can fly. So the sannyasis and the gurus, and they are flying even though they may be in material world, because they have crossed that threshold limit. So till we cross, we have to go on developing the higher taste, and not just stick on with simple prasadam and simple lifestyle and being away from the material world's pangs. We need to have conscious effort on, and it is natural when we are making progress and when our fundamentals are going good. It is very natural to develop taste, higher taste, and go further ahead. Our life should not become stagnant. We have become initiated, and there is maybe a tendency that okay, now initiation has happened, now guru will take care. But no, one has to do an active effort to come to temple, render services, and find out what he likes, and find out the solutions to the obstacles and problems and doubts which he is facing through. So this is very paramount important to develop the higher taste. And service is the most important part. How to develop higher taste? By rendering service. If you don't feel like rendering service, we still have to act. We have to make the austerity of doing service, because by rendering service we will develop higher taste. So there is an example given that how sometimes there is an air block in the pipe. So we have to first put water from outside and remove the block, and then the pipe will pull out the water through the help of pump, and the water will start coming up. So although we want water from the tank through the pump, but because of air block it is not coming, so we have to put some water to remove the block, is it not? Similarly, we have Krishna consciousness within us, the love for Krishna, but to invoke it we have to do the external sadhana bhakti, and we have to do it consciously, especially those things which we like till we develop the higher taste. And we should find out what we like in bhakti. Some of them they like Vaishnava songs, some of them like book distribution, some of them like management. It can be anything, something related to Krishna consciousness under the direction of a spiritual master, and that service rendered will develop a higher taste for sure. The verse says that Swayam eva suratyadaha. When we sevon mukhe hi jivvado swayam eva hi suratyadaha. When we render service through the tongue, jivvado swayam eva hi surat. One is chanting the holy names and honoring prasadam, and to elaborate any services. No, don't try to see Krishna, but serve in such a way that Krishna will try to see you. So similarly, we should be always eager not to have a direct physical association of exalted devotees, but to serve in such a way that our authorities will take us to the higher authorities. That, oh, this devotee is very nice, he is serving amazingly, please give your blessings. Rather than we approaching, please give us blessings, and great soul has come. So that is okay, but the best way is to serve in such a way, and that will give us immense sense of satisfaction and spiritual satisfaction to progress further, a higher taste. So service is very, very important. And after initiation also, sometimes the enthusiasm is very high before initiation, but after initiation also one should be very careful that even though he is staying away from the temple, he should come not only on Sundays, not Kirtaniya Ravivara Hari, but Kirtaniya Sada Hari. And the husband should come and give the render services, have an authority, and Matajis, they take care of the house nicely, Krishna conscious way, cultivate the children, and then they also come on the Sundays, and they are constantly supporting the husband. This makes a very good grihastha combination of husband very nicely attached with the temple activities, and slowly connecting the family members also. So at least 1 hour of service even during the weekdays, and Sunday especially very high amount of service. This will develop a strong connection. Not that we just go on Sundays to the temple, is it not? So that can be the mood which I have heard from my seniors. And then that is about the higher taste, H. What about A? Association of exalted and pure devotees. Yes, in Bhagavatam there is one very nice verse which tells about prasangam ajaram pasham moksha kama udaradhi. Sorry, prasangam ajaram pasham atmano kavayo viduhu. स एव साधुषु कृतो मोक्षद्वारम अपावृतम prasangam ajaram pasham. This material world bondage is very strong. Atmano kavayo viduhu. Many great exalted devotees have accepted it, that it is very strong indeed. It is ajaram pasham, very strong bondage. But if you redirect this bondage instead of to the material world happiness to a sadhu, sa eva sadhushu krito moksha dwarama pavartam, it is a cause of liberation then. So we have to find out a sadhu, a Krishna conscious devotee whom we get really inspired from. It can be our Guru Maharaj, it can be our Shiksha Guru, it can be any XYZ devotee who really inspires us, whom we feel like asking doubts, taking guidance. Because without guidance, without a higher help, and he should be quite senior to us, he should be quite exalted us, capable of removing us out from the bondage, then it is very easy to come out of the bondage. And one equal devotee, because everything we cannot share with the senior devotee, they are difficult to access also, they are very busy. So one is equal, one senior, such a good association, exalted association we should seek out. That who is good devotee, who is very amongst the association of devotees, we should be very choosy. Now one may ask, Arey Prabhu, is it not offense to tell one devotee less advanced, another devotee more advanced? No. Otherwise, why will NOI discriminate Uttam Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Kanishta Adhikari? There is division. We have to distinguish. Otherwise, how we will progress? We can help and guide those who are neophyte, those who are not so advanced. But for our own progress, we have to constantly take the association of senior exalted devotees. And we should not just stick on with some online Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedant classes. Nowadays, there is a trend that, oh Prabhu, I'm busy in my sadhana, I'm doing very good, and I have received certificate of Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. Yes, that is surely very important, and Prabhupada recommended, and it is very much important. But along with that, some physical services like going for book distribution, going for Harinam, rendering some physical services, that is also the mood of Srila Prabhupada. But it is observed that many of them have this tendency of doing too much of online classes and not rendering some physical. In case that is there, that should be curbed also, because that is the way we can actually associate. Because even while doing the services, we should do in the association of devotees, which will render higher taste. We should do once in a week morning program in temple with our counsel groups, Bhakti Vriksha groups. That will also identify us with the temple. Once in a week, apart from Sundays. Sundays anyway we come, but apart from Sundays we can go and we can associate. So that is about association of good exalted devotees and pure devotees. So that will relieve us from the the bondage of material bondage, and shift our bondage to spiritual association. So H is over higher taste, A is over association. Now N, navigating one's own spiritual life. So Srila Prabhupada used to tell that one has to drive one's own aeroplane, is it not? So how to do that? Yes, initially there is a lot of guidance given when you are chanting 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds, Diksha, and then after Diksha, when you are given services and you are considered to be in the movement from 1 to 3 years, and more dependency and focus goes in the new devotees, is it not? So there may be a tendency that the older devotees, 3 years plus, 5 years plus, may be kind of neglected, but not neglected. Always counseling system is there, but that much focus is not there as much as the new devotee. So what does this practicing devotee has to do? He has to put his own effort. Already a lot of inputs and directions are given. The counselor system is there, or the devotee care system is there. Now he has to fly his own plane. And what is more important, uh, see, initially there is some carrot is there. Oh, now I am Krishna Sevak, I am Prabhupada Sevak, now I am going to get Diksha, now Brahman Diksha. Then after Brahman Diksha, what next? Oh, I am not able to become president or even vice president or TMC. So there is a gap, there is fruitive activity, or I am not a manager also of a particular center. So there is no fruit externally hanging. But he forgets that he has to work on his internal. He has to work. That is the most important thing. So because in brahmachari they tell, oh, now he is a yellow brigade, then white brigade, then shaven headed shikha, then saffron, and then sannyas. But there is a big gap between saffron and sannyas. So there is also a gap. So they lose the self motivation, which is very important at this stage. There won't be any push given. Nobody will be observing you closely. Even sometimes Bhakti Viksha leader may not ask very detailed what is the progress, because he may fear that he may feel offended, and we may become lag. So self motivation is a very important thing. Navigating one's own life, very sincere. Hmm? And then we have to be accountable ourselves, and we have to be self inspired. Because the lower vector is always pulling us down, but we have to have our sadhana strong to keep us going ahead. So Prabhupada says in the first canto, fifth chapter, about the what is that DOS formula. D for discipline, O for obedience, and S for self control. Unless one is not disciplined, obedient, and sense control, he cannot follow the instructions of spiritual master. Because in this purport also Prabhupada told, sometimes he comes in the association, but being not able to follow the instructions, leaves the association. ओ मंदिर में जाएंगे तो प्रभु सर्विस दे देंगे, ओ ये सर्विस हम नहीं करेंगे, और देयर मे बी अ सटल हेजिटेंस फ्रॉम डूइंग सम सर्विस. सो और लीव एसोसिएशन, अरे फॉलो पाएगा, कॉल आएगा, क्यों मंदिर नहीं आए, एटसेट्रा. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग सम रैंडम एग्जाम्पल्स. But this DOS formula, Prabhupada tells, unless one is not disciplined, obedient, and sense control, he will not be able to follow the instructions of spiritual master. And if we don't follow the instructions of spiritual master, where is the hope of going back to spiritual world? Prabhupada completes the sentence in the, I think it's the fifth shloka of the fifth chapter, if I am not wrong, 1.5.5. In that fifth chapter it comes, initial part only, Narad Muni and Vyasadeva Samvad, that how Narad Muni was sense controlled, even though he was small boy, Narad boy, and he followed the Bhaktivedantas, he heard him, and with their permission took the remnants, and he grew in the spiritual life very fast. So unless we don't follow the instruction of spiritual master, there is no hope. That we all know. But how to be qualified to perform and execute the instructions is also difficult. Spiritual masters sometimes hesitate to give instructions only, because they know that, oh, he will not be able to follow, so it will be offense, so better not give instruction. They give very low or very simple instructions. So chant, do some service, and do some, take prasadam only, come to holy dham, that's all. But we have to grow, and we have to make us ourselves qualified. So that is one thing. And that is about uh, navigating one's own spiritual life. I'll just change my network here. It may be better. 1 second, just give me 1 second. Yeah. Prasanna, hope I am audible and visible.
You are audible. Visibility, I think that device, I think the lens you have to just wipe. Maybe it's.
Yeah. Actually, it has got some problem.
It's like you're in a fog.
I tried it, but somehow there is internal. I'll have to.
Okay.
I'll try. Actually, the dirt is within the lens only. I'll just try if it is possible. Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's clearer.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, I think that's okay.
Okay. So, yeah. I was just discussing that how the navigation part we have to do by the DOS formula. D for discipline, O for obedience, and S for sense control. And the morning program should be excellent. We just heard from His Holiness Bhakti Brihad Bhagavad Swami Maharaj. When I asked that what is this internal absorption and higher taste which we need to cultivate, so he told, in my 41 years of experience in Krishna consciousness, I'm sure some of you might have heard of Bhakti Brihad Bhagavad Maharaj. He comes to ICC also, and he's planning to come in December also. He's a sannyas disciple of His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. So very, very expert and very Krishna conscious, lot of services. He was telling that in my 41 years of experience in Krishna consciousness, what is internal absorption for me is nothing but how to hear our chanting. If you can hear our chanting nicely, that means your internal absorption is very good. And we see in one of the purports of Srila Prabhupada that it is very difficult to hear attentively unless one is not pure in his actions, in his eating, sleeping. One cannot be regulated, then one cannot be hearing attentively the Bhagavatam class. So the attentive hearing of either Bhagavatam class or of the chanting is solely dependent on our internal, is solely deciding our internal absorption. Throughout the day, what will be your consciousness? And he was telling to do it in the early morning hours, best in Brahma Murta, if not at least before the morning hours are over, 8, 9 o'clock or so. If one completes his chanting of 16 rounds attentively, then throughout the day is very, very good. And it is very natural because one cannot, he was telling what is the internal absorption. When you are doing service, you are not worried that my chanting is remaining. I have to complete my 4 pending rounds. So that will create a little tension. He was telling a ghost will always roam around when you are doing service. So you will not do service with heart. You will be always worried that I have to complete my chanting. So that is what he was mentioning about internal absorption. And so such guidance, such good morning program is very, very important. And one should also understand one's own needs. We cannot imitate others. We can do a SWOT analysis, which is called in corporate. SWOT means S for what are our strengths, W for weakness, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So when we know that I am good in this, then we should capitalize it for our own Krishna consciousness so that we can become strong, we can help others, and we should know what are my weaknesses and we should try to avoid. Like, for example, some speaker is not doing good kirtan. He may not inspiringly do kirtan. Obviously, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told that even the worst of the kirtaniya should be put. But in terms of inspiring others, when it's a new devotee program, we want to put forward a very good singer, is it not? So when we know that we are not a good singer, we can, instead of being very stubborn that no, I will only sing, we can give others an opportunity that okay, let somebody else sing, I'll just play kartal. Or we, sometimes many senior devotees, they may not know kartal, so they take help of other junior devotees who know better kartal. So we should know our weaknesses and accordingly behave. That will also be very good. There is nothing wrong. Sometimes we may not be able to learn some things. If we can, it is more very, very good. So knowing our limitations and strengths, understanding our own needs in Krishna consciousness, that I need a partner, I need a friend, I need a person to guide me, and understand it's not wrong to have a guidance, to need some direction in some particular area in service. So we should understand our need, and when that need is satisfied, or if we are going through imbalance in our service and sadhana, we have to express it. Unless we don't express it, how will the counselor or Bhakti Vriksha leader tell? He will not be able to understand. So that is the navigating one's own spiritual life. And G for gratitude. attitude of gratitude is so very important. Sometimes we take things for granted and we end up doing offenses. This is another reason why one may leave Krishna consciousness, ending up doing offenses, which is very difficult. Obviously, he will not go permanently. He will be out from Bhakti path for some time, and he will be brought back when proper attitude comes again. But that some loss of time is very, very detrimental for a sadhaka. He lose very vital time. So Srila Prabhupada tells in his purport that we should always remember what we were before coming to Krishna consciousness. Somebody saved us, somebody preached us, somebody gave a book to us, called for a program, etc. Otherwise, what was our hope? We would have been in a very detrimental situation. So look back and thank Krishna. Thank the devotees who sacrificed for bringing us to Krishna consciousness. And lastly, O and N. O means opportunities. We should look forward for opportunities of service rather than running away. We should go ahead that today I'm free. Prabhu, is there any service? Ask the manager, ask the Bhakti Vriksha leader. And association, looking for higher association, going for yatras and hearing from very senior sannyasis. Not only just sightseeing. Yes, we should take darshan, but most important in the yatras is to hear tirthi kurvanti tirthani. The holy place is made holy by the holy devotees. And we need patience. Along with seeking of opportunities, we should be patiently waiting, like the Puchrika Lota Baba. He is patiently still waiting because Krishna told him, I will come back. He is a Gopa. But he is not becoming thin, even though he is waiting for 5,000 years. He is very, very hatagata, very strongly built. And because of the remembrance of Krishna, he is nourished. So patiently waiting for the appropriate opportunity and mercy to come itself is very nourishing for our own Krishna consciousness. Utsahat, dhairyat, nishchayat. Patiently, determinedly, we have to keep waiting for the correct opportunities and correct results in our endeavors. And in that way, we have to keep endeavoring and looking for the opportunities. And lastly, N, never give up attitude. So, same. Srila Prabhupada used to tell that impossible is a word in the fool's dictionary. And he used to always inspire his devotees to do big, especially his American devotees, to do something big. So we should also thank Srila Prabhupada by never giving up in our attitude of progressing in bhakti, in helping others, and reaching out to many others. There will be many obstacles, especially Maya Devi works 24/7 overtime for the devotees. Because she has observed, oh, this fellow is going to go out now. So let me test him thoroughly before I send him to spiritual world. So the Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnana, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari is very important because in Bhakti path there will be many obstacles, especially preachers. They will face a lot of difficulties, and unless they don't have the grass in the mouth or wear the Trinadapi verse, it will be difficult to progress. So just to revise what we discussed today is HANG, hang on, H for higher taste, where we discussed that it is not only sufficient to come in bhakti and be relieved from the material distress, but also to develop a higher taste, which is very, very important to go on in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, the lower modes will pull us back down. So that is very important. Secondly, relief from the material sufferings. And secondly, association, A. We discussed the Prasangam Ajaram Pasham verse. That one equal and one senior, we have to find out. And we should find out some quality devotee association, not that any devotee association. And it is not wrong to find out a higher devotee. At least one devotee should be there to guide us, a senior devotee, capable of lifting us up, solve our doubts, problems, and one equal devotee should be good enough. And always looking for higher association in yatras, etc. And for navigating one's own spiritual life, in that we discuss the DOS formula: discipline, obedient, and sense control. That how we cannot follow the instructions unless we follow this DOS formula. And we should do our good morning program, understand our own limits, SWOT analysis. We should understand our needs, understand our strengths and weakness. Morning program should be attentively hearing chanting and Bhagavatam class. Unless our regulated lifestyle is not there, we will not be able to attentively hear. And that was N, navigating one's own life, and self-motivated. After some time, we will be expected to drive our own plane. Seniors will not closely monitor us. So unless we don't do that, we'll not be able to go further and we'll get stuck up. So that is the need. So ISKCON has done very good in bringing new devotees, but now it's time to boil the milk also, as what Prabhupada used to tell. So we have to help ourselves, and then we can make others also strong. And then G for gratitude. Attitude of gratitude is very vital to fuel our service attitude and go on in Krishna consciousness and come over our obstacles. Unless we don't thank the opportunities we have got and what we were before and what we are now, it will not be sufficient or proper for us to go ahead. Always that remembrance that somebody has saved me, somebody has sacrificed me, I should do the same for others is very, very vital. And lastly, O and N, opportunities we should look for patiently for services, for good association. Need to have patience. Kuchrika Luta Baba, we discussed that he was very patiently waiting, and that remembrance of Krishna was nourishing. Utsahat, Dhairyat, Nishchayat. That we should look on for opportunities and never give up. Never give up attitude of Srila Prabhupada, and that made him very successful. Although a lot of obstacles came in many devotees' paths, so many obstacles come. Maya keeps testing us, so we should always have the hope. In the association of devotees, we will get that hope, and by sincerity of our purpose, surely Krishna will give us the strength to never give up and go on, and no question of leaving the association of ISKCON and the devotees. So I stop here and pause here for now, and we can take some discussion or any comments from the devotees.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, thank you so much. I think you have brought in, you covered almost all the aspects that one has to keep in mind. And there were so many points that came up. So just to make it easier, I think you used that wonderful use of the acronym, the hang on, and then the DOS. So all of that makes it so much easier for all of us to remember. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So much of practical information or tips that were there, the do's and don'ts, which is something that we will have to carry in our hearts, remember it always, and then work on it, understanding our limitations, our weaknesses, so on and so forth, and then how we need to have gratitude in our heart. So many things, Prabhu. I mean, it's so nice, so wonderful, and then so relevant to each one of us. And just one observation, suddenly I realized that hanging on is not a very good word generally. Yeah. And because it has a little bit of a negative connotation. But now today you gave a beautiful perspective to hang on, because it is also so important to hang on and then not leave and go. So if we look at it from that perspective, then one's perspective on considering somebody as just hanging on changes so much. The very fact that they are in the movement itself is a big thing. So you brought out that aspect also. And then, of course, the acronym is always there to help us understand that. So thank you so much, Prabhu. These were just my thoughts around it. So
thank you.
So wonderful. And now, devotees, if there are any comments or questions, I'm sure Prabhu will be very happy to take them.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandvat Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. What does it in the SWOT T stand for, Prabhu?
Threats. What are our threats? For example, somebody is not chanting attentively, he dozes in the chanting, or he is not able to remember the points in the Bhagavatam class. He attends very regularly, but there is no sharing, no application, no remembrance. So these are the threats. Sometimes some senior devotees may put, and we should take care of that and improve upon it. For example, our boys, we tell to fill up sadhana cards. So sometimes they're very good in filling up 0, 0, 0, 10, 5, and then it continues for week after week. So the whole idea of filling sadhana card is not only to fill it, but to improve upon it. So these are some threats which we may have, which we may have identified, or some others would have pointed out. So we should know that and then work on it, or be guarded about it. At least we should be aware of these threats which are there in our spiritual life, rather than being ignorant of it and neglecting, and that may overcome and throw us out from bhakti path altogether.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Prabhu, can you repeat the spot itself once? SPOT, all the four.
S stands for strengths, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So if we are aware of our own strengths, we can be utilizing that for services. If we are aware of weaknesses, then we will be very cautious not to trade in that zone. For example, we may get carried away by prajalpa if we are in association of not very advanced devotees. So we should be guarding ourselves from their association. O for opportunities, which we discussed, that we should always be looking for opportunities and not make our bhakti mechanical. Newer opportunities, newer dimensions, newer associations, sangha opportunities, and always keep us updated. In the corporate world also this applies. They always keep themselves updated. So we should be always updated with what are the newer opportunities in bhakti, in preaching, because nowadays it is a social media. Many things are available for many people. Or how a devotee tackles. Like when I was doing book distribution, one person told that this has become now outdated way of preaching, distributing books. So then when I had heard His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj that you should tell that aankh kharab ho jayegi, your eyes will pain if you keep seeing video online, books, PDFs. So you should read books, and books we can do namaskar, we can offer obeisance. Haldar Maharaj told. So like that, we should develop some points which we can help us to go on preaching in our services by updating ourselves. So these are opportunities, and T for threats, which I just told.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I'll ask one question. Maybe it is not very relevant. They say these monkeys actually are they like rishis and munis and all that, and they take birth in the dhams, right?
Correct.
But do all the monkeys have got this this sense, these things, or it's? But basic monkey quality is that.
Actually, Srila Prabhupada mentions that those who commit offenses in the dham, they become monkeys or pigs in the dham for one birth, and after that punishment, they go back and further progress in the spiritual path. Almost they go back home. That one punishment is there because they committed offense in the dham like Vrindavan. So they are the ones. So currently, those who are monkeys and pigs and all in the dham, we are very cautious about that, because they might have been practicing devotees committed offenses, but not the monkeys who are outside the dham. We may not consider them as rishis and munis, in my understanding. For
Yes.
sure, that's the thing. If anybody wants to add, they can add to that also.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Balaji going through.
Prabhu, thank you very much for the wonderful acronyms, Prabhu. Prabhu, there was one reference, Prabhu, one verse, Ajaram Pasham, Prabhu. It is from Bhagavatam, which canto, Prabhu?
I think it is in the third canto. I'll just share it with Prasanatma Prabhu. The verse he can forward in the WhatsApp group. It is in the third canto. I don't remember the exact verse, but I will share it with Prasanatma Prabhu. He will share with the. Is it possible, Prasanatma Prabhu? You can share with the
Yes,
devotee in the
Prabhu.
group.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
I'll just share with him. Okay, it's in. I think it's in the third canto. I'll just look into it.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
So devotees, any other comments or questions anybody has, kindly go ahead.
Any scope for improvement also?
You are climbing the ladder so fast, Prabhu.
I just came from Vrindavan yesterday night. I have a little running nose, so please forgive for that.
We are putting baby steps from.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So devotees, let's all thank Vanamali Govind Prabhu by and also he's not keeping well, so let's also pray so that he quickly recovers. So let's loudly chant Hari Bol once for him, and then we can end the session. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol, Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you so much. So
Thank
yeah, we can conclude today's class with Vaishnav Pranams.
Yes, Guruji.
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पंचरत्न श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। गौर सीतनाथ परमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Hari. Thank you.
Thank you, devotees, for joining, and I'll end the session for everyone. Once again, thank you, Prabhu. So we look forward for more from you.